welcome to Sing Out Loud UK. Today we're going to be looking at finding the best teacher for you. Alright, so finding a singing teacher can be really overwhelming and a bit of a minefield. There's hundreds of us out there and not really any information about how to choose the best one for you. It is an unregulated industry. So that means that there isn't a governing body that kind of goes along like they do with doctors and goes check, 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 check. Brilliant, off you go, you can be a singing teacher. So someone can go, cool, I've done choir for 10 years, I like singing, I did some music exams once, I'm just going to teach what I already know to other people. And that's kind of how the industry's been for a long time. People just teaching what they were taught and what they were taught and what they were taught. And no one's kind of gone, hello, here's what we physically know up to date today in this day and age of how the voice works and therefore how that affects what you're teaching to people. Now, that is not to say by any means that people who are teaching methods and techniques that have been around for 30 and 50 years don't work, that they're wrong, that they need a dusting off. Loads of that stuff is still super relevant. What I'm saying is you want a singing teacher that is open to the most up-to-date information about how the voice works. Okay, so now let's look at my 3 top tips for choosing your singing teacher. Number 1, accreditation. What training have they had? What information did they learn? And therefore, what do they know? How have they further trained themselves to make themselves a kind of all-round great teacher? Who do they work with? Who has worked with them? Who have they taught? And by that, I don't mean have they taught massive superstars who've had huge success. What I mean is, do they have a consistent track record of happy students? And that takes us on to number 2, recommendation. Do you know people that have worked with someone and said they're fantastic, they're really good, they teach at this drama school, they helped me with this audition, they helped me on my coaching for X Factor, I don't know, I was really nervous, I just wanted to breathe a bit easier and enjoy music, the singing teacher was great for beginners. You know, are people telling you that that person is great? It's not one size fits all, but recommendation is better than no recommendation. And number 3, relevant. Are they relevant in the industry that you want to go into? So if you're looking to become a professional, do they know the relevant vocabulary, the relevant styles and vocal qualities that will help you sustain or begin a career? Can they teach beginners if you want to sing for fun? You know, there is no point in thinking, I want to go on the X Factor and do really great pop singing and then going and studying with someone who teaches choral at King's, for example. Or I want to sing Wagner, I love opera, and then work with someone who has been just singing rock for 50 years. That's not to say that people don't cross over, and if you're doing musical theatre, there are lots of genres kind of umbrellaed under that, as there are in classical music, lots of genres umbrellaed under that. But it's really important that you're going to get a teacher who has the expertise in the field that is relevant to you. What should you be getting out of your lesson? Well, firstly, are they bespoke to you, tailored for you? Is it an individual lesson about you, your voice and your needs? When you stand outside the door and then go in after the person before you, are you getting the exact same lesson that they had? That's not to say that there won't be the same techniques applied in the same genres of music. For clarity, when I teach at a drama school, if I'm teaching first years, very often they follow a similar structure of the type of music that they're learning at a specific time in the year. And often students that come in as first years have lots of the same vocal issues. So you will be teaching similar, if not the same, exercises or the same pieces of music to students, but it's about how it is communicated, and how it's communicated should not be scripted. It should not be one size fits all. It should be about what you need as a student, and that is really important because without that you won't progress. All right, number 2, are you comfortable? Are you relaxed? Can you make mistakes? Are you progressing? Can you take the information from your lesson home and apply it when you're on your own? Are you allowed to record your lessons? I've heard of singing teachers not allowing people to record their lessons. That's a major red flag for me, because my job as a singing teacher is to empower you as a student to take the information away and use it. Otherwise, I'm failing you. Now, singing lessons are uncomfortable sometimes, so when I say they're comfortable, I'm talking about the teacher with you. You yourself may well feel uncomfortable in a lesson. You can feel really vulnerable and naked. It's totally normal. We all have this little devil sitting on our shoulders that tells us we're terrible at everything, particularly at singing. So that can happen, but the teacher's there to guide you, build you up, but also to focus you on the work. So it is going to be hard work because there is always work to do with singing, but the teacher should be empowering you and not knocking you down. Okay, and last but not least, are they up to date? Do they actually know how the voice works? I really want to red border this section, big exclamation marks. Just because someone is a brilliant singer or performer, has had a breadth of experience with a wonderful career, either on the West End, Broadway, or recording as a singer, a big pop star, that does not make them a great teacher. Not by any means, and it doesn't make them a good teacher for you. So just because someone is able to do something doesn't mean they actually know what is happening. And the reason that is so important is, let me do an example. So let's say Jane thinks she's belting, that's what it feels like for her. And Sarah thinks that she's sobbing, that's what it feels like for her. And actually, neither of those things are right about what is physically happening. So there is no point in teaching someone what it feels like. For me, when I'm singing, I actually have to know what is happening and then be able to explore a variety of ways of communicating that with the student because of how they learn. And it may feel different for them. Yes, it's my job as a teacher to direct them towards recognising a sensation, but it's my job to be able to communicate it in many different ways so that it fits the student. And that's why it's so vital to actually know what is physically happening. Okay, so let's recap. How to find a teacher. Number 1, accreditation. Number 2, recommendation. Number 3, relevance. What to look out for in singing lessons. Number 1, bespoke and tailored to you. Number 2, comfortable and able to learn. And number 3, up to date and knowledgeable. And a really good singing teacher actually will be totally comfortable at recommending the right teacher for you. So if you go to a teacher and they're a specialist in pop and you want to do Gilbert and Sullivan, they should feel comfortable enough to go, do you know what, that's not my bag, but my friend is a fantastic Gilbert and Sullivan teacher, go to them. Very often teachers will not share students, but advise that, you know, if I've got a mate that's been in a show and could help someone prep for an audition, I absolutely will suggest they go to them for 1 or 2 sessions. I'm not saying forever, but I'm not afraid of losing the student. A good teacher will be generous and will be knowledgeable, and in turn that will make them do the things that are best for you as a student. Okay, there are lots of directories online. There are lots of ways of finding teachers, so do your homework, think about the tips I've given you, and really just try it out. You know, you're not going to improve unless you get out there and start exercising your vocal muscles. Try a couple of teachers if you can afford to do so, and don't judge too quickly. You know, you're not going to suddenly be singing Emotions by Mariah Carey in 5 minutes time. That takes a lot of work, so allow yourself the time to do that work and make sure you're with someone who helps you to do it. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope that was helpful. Like, share, subscribe if it was. If it wasn't, maybe just go make a cup of tea. Leave me a comment, send me a message, tell me if there's anything else that you want to hear, ask me your questions. If you want to book in for a lesson, message me. It's over the internet right now, in person soon, fingers crossed, hopefully. Okay. Look out for my next video, which will be myth busting, and then we'll be looking at how the voice actually works. Take care of yourselves and see you soon.